Hi everybody, welcome to the session of AC Fundamentals 3. In this session, I would like to discuss regarding the representation of sine wave as phasor and a few problems related to this topic. First of all, let me explain you how a sine wave is going to be represented with respect to a vector. First, I am going to consider a vector which is placed here having a magnitude, and this value is equal to the maximum value of the sine wave that we are going to generate. At this position, say when this vector lies along the horizontal, consider this instant as equal to theta is equal to 0. The component of this vector along the y-axis will be equal to 0 because theta is equal to 0. Hence, the waveform starts from origin, and let us suppose the vector moves through a certain angle. Let us say this angle is some theta 1. In this position, the component of this vector along y-axis will be this much. Say this is theta 1. At theta 1 we are going to have a magnitude of this length, and when the same vector moves through some other new position, say this is theta 2, this will be our the magnitude along y-axis. Say this is theta 2. It will have its maximum value when the vector moves through an angle of 90 degrees. So this angle will be 90 degrees. Say this is pi by 2 or 90 degrees. We are going to have the maximum value of this y component. Like that, we are going to have the waveform generated in this fashion. And when the angle is further increased, the values are going to be repeated. So this is the y component. Like that, we are going to have, when theta becomes equal to 180 degrees, this comes to 0, and slowly theta becomes greater than 180 degrees, the value becomes negative. So this is the negative magnitude here. Like that, as the angle increases beyond 180 degrees, it moves in the negative direction, and at an angle of theta is equal to 270 degrees, it will have the negative maximum value. So this is known as 3 pi by 2 or 270 degrees, and it completes the cycle when theta becomes equal to 2 pi radians or 360 degrees. So that is how we can represent a sine waveform with a rotating vector at different angular intervals. That is from theta is equal to 0 to through some other angles. Next, the equation of this waveform is given as V is equal to Vm sin theta, and now this can be represented as a phasor having a maximum value of Vm at a reference of theta is equal to 0. So this is how a sine wave is now being represented as a phasor. This is the magnitude of the phasor, and this is the reference with respect to theta is equal to 0. Say now, let us consider a waveform is going to start from, now let me represent another waveform having, let us say V1 is equal to Vm sine of theta minus pi by 4. Here the waveform I am going to represent with this color. For this waveform, the waveform is going to start from, the initial position will be, so this will be our Vm, which is going to have a lagging angle of 45 degrees. Okay, now let me represent this equation. V1 is equal to Vm sin of theta minus pi by 4. I am drawing the Vm which is going to lag behind the reference by an angle of pi by 4. When theta is equal to 0, it is going to have the y component of this much. So theta is equal to 0. This will be the magnitude. And as this vector moves in this direction, the y length or the component along y axis also decreases slowly, and it becomes equal to 0 when theta or the vector moves through an angle of plus pi by 4. So say if this is pi by 4, and so this is the instant where the waveform is going to cross the 0 value on the x-axis. So this is pi by 4. So like that we are going to have the waveform. That is how we can represent any waveform as a vector or a phasor. So this can be represented in phasor notation as Vm at an angle of minus pi by 4. Similarly, let me tell you one more example. Say V2 is we are going to have as Vm sin of theta plus pi by 3. This is another sine waveform. This can be represented in vector form or polar form as Vm at an angle of pi by 3. So that is how we can correlate the polar or vector form with respect to a sine wave. Now let us go through one example problem which is going to illustrate clearly the application of this concept. In this problem we are given 4 waveforms, 4 sinusoidal waveforms, such that V1 is equal to 115 sin theta and V2 is equal to 200 cos theta and V3 is equal to 100 sin of theta minus pi by 4 and V4 is equal to 100 sin of theta minus pi by 3. And our objective is to find out the resultant waveform when these 4 voltages are applied simultaneously. We need to find out the resultant. For that, first we have to convert these waveforms into polar form. Let us consider equation 1. V1 is equal to 150 sin theta, and this can be represented in polar form or vector form as equal to 150 at an angle of 0. Similarly, V2 is 200 cos theta. The important point to remember here is we have to consider all the given alternating waveforms in the same trigonometric ratio. So here among these 4, this one is having cosine form, so better we should transform this into sine. So I am writing this as 200 cos theta, which is equal to 200 sin of theta plus pi by 2, because sin of pi by 2 plus theta is equal to cos theta. We should not consider here pi by 2 minus theta, because theta cannot have the negative value. So it is equal to 200 sin of theta plus pi by 2. So now this can be represented in polar form as 200 at an angle of pi by 2. Similarly, V3 is equal to 100 sine of theta minus pi by 4. This can be represented as 100 at an angle of minus pi by 4. Just now we have seen here. And similarly, V4 is equal to 100 sine of theta minus pi by 3, and that is equal to 100 at an angle of minus pi by 3. After that, we have to convert this polar form into Cartesian form or rectangular form. So 150 at an angle of 0 becomes equal to 150 plus j0, because the imaginary component is 0 here, and this one becomes 0 plus j 200, and this one will be equal to 70.7 minus j 70.7, and this is 50 minus j 86.67. Now let us add all these waveforms. We are going to have the resultant as V1 plus V2 plus V3 plus V4, which is the resultant VR. So if you add these real components, we are going to have 270.7 as the real component, and if you consider the imaginary parts of imaginary components of all these vectors, we are going to have plus j 42.63, and again convert this into polar form. We are going to have 274.03 at an angle of 8.95 degrees. Again, you can, if you want, you can convert this into the sine equation form. So finally we are going to have the resultant wave as equal to 274.03 into sine of theta plus 8.95 degrees volts, because as we are going to consider the resultant voltage, the units will be equal to volts. That is how we can find out the resultant of given a certain number of voltages acting simultaneously in a circuit. That's all for this session. In the next session, I will deal AC circuits